Moving forward, in the last video we set up a basic HTML document that created the structure that came from the prototypes that we had created for the combination of large screen tablet and phone that all use the same structure, document object model. And so we have gone through and we've created the code that duplicates the major sections of that page from an architectural standpoint. Now what we need to do is we need to begin to add within the CSS document that we've set up, we need to start creating the rules that are going to apply to that. So we're just going to need to make sure we're doing this in a systematic way. We're going to create a rule for each of these before we put anything in it. Coming in here, I'm going to have I've got an ID of wrapper, and I just set up the rule with nothing in it for now. So we have wrapper, and then we have header, and header, because it is a selector in itself now, all we have to do is header. The same thing with footer, but we'll do that in a systematic way. Everybody has their own approaches to doing things. I like to put my code here in the way that it appears in the page whenever possible. So I'm going to put the header first, and then we've got a div of main body and divs with IDs, an ID of main body, left, center, and right. So main body, and then the only thing left in our document object model is the footer. So as far as from a structural standpoint, architectural standpoint, this is the entire setup. And I'm just going to make my codes consistent here, because that's a good habit to be in. In my header, I notice I didn't have the opening and closing tags. So this just allows me to give it a check to make sure that what I'm doing is consistent and correct. And it's just a process that I've gotten into over the years. Now, I want to direct your attention over here. Here's a place where we can create new styles. So instead of doing things the way that I wanted to, we could click, or the way I did previously, we could click new style, and that would bring up this pop-up window, which is very similar to the kind of thing that those of you who are used to using Dreamweaver are used to seeing. So it's got the different types of the selector. You can define it in the current page or the existing style sheet. When you choose existing style sheet, it comes over here, gives you an option to choose from the attached style sheets. You can do choose the selector here. I'm not going I want to use one of the ones that we just came up with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a background color. So I'm going to be doing header. I'm not going to mess with the font right now. I'm just going to give it a background color, and I can choose from my colors. We'll just set that there for now. All these things are going to change. I'm just giving it visual elements now so that you can see what's going on. Now you'll notice that I had clicked our new style, so it created a new header style here. I don't want to do that at this point, so I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to put it inside of here. And I'm going to get rid of that just to make sure that it's clean. So I've got my header here. That gives it a background color. When I come in here, you'll notice that my header's got a background color. I'm going to do the same thing for all of the different styles that I've put up there. You'll notice I've come over here to the Manage Styles, and that allows me to address the different styles that we have in here. Oops, I just lost it. So when I click into the content over here, then it gives me a list of available options that are in here. So I'm going to click on my wrapper, and you'll notice that down here the CSS properties shows up. If I double click on it, then it brings me to that location in my style sheet. And I'm not sure where to look yet, but it should allow me to open up a dialog box that will allow me to change those. And the way that we find that is we right click on wrapper and we choose modify style. That brings up the dialog box that allows us to manipulate the content for this one. And we are working on the wrapper right now, so all I'm going to do again for now is give it a background color, and I want it to be different than the one for the body, so I'm just going to give it a light color there. I'm just going to give every component a color so that we can visually see what's going on with the page, because we're going to be moving things around, and it's helpful to be able to see what's going on there. So you'll notice that I'm going to different places to get to the same place, and that's part of getting familiar with any new set of software that you're using is getting familiar with the interface, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just bouncing around, attaching or doing the same thing from different directions to sort of familiarize myself with what's going on here. So let's see where we're at right now. I've done wrapper, header, main body. Now I need to do left, center, right, and footer. So modifying the style, background. I don't like that green. It shows up all the time. Let's go into more colors. Something a little less glaring in your face. There's left. So now when I go back into the index.html, you'll notice that all of these different sections have been given a background color. I'm looking for nav, and I notice that it's not recognizing nav in there. So let me go back and look at my code. Okay, and I haven't added one, so that comes after the header but before the main body. And as soon as I do that, it shows up in this area here. I can modify my style, background,